Can.
Hi, Miss Catherine and my fellow friends. Today, me and my group members are going to discuss the extent of getting Berhad complied with the principles and best practices of good governance under MCCG 2017. These are my group members, which are me, myself, Eugene Law, Yogashini Arumugam, Muhammad Nawas, Leong Jaru, Tan Yiling, and Tom Pogi. I will pass the time to Jaru to start off with the introduction. Thank you.
Okay. So today we will present the corporate governance of Genting Berhad. Genting Berhad is a well-known company in Malaysia. I think everyone know about Genting Highland, right? And their new shopping mall, Sky Avenues. Genting is the top 30 largest company in Malaysia, which they are in the list of FTSE, Bursa Malaysia, KLCI Index. By looking the overall of the corporate governance report, Genting had applied 25 practice, adopted 2 practice, which is practice 8.4 and 9.3, 7 departure, and 2 non-adoption. So next, I will talk about principle A of the board responsibility, and I will focus on practice 1.3. Next. Okay. So in practice 1.3, Genting did not use the guideline provided by MCCG, which means the chairman and CEO is the same person. Tan Sri Lim Kok Tai in the man in the picture. This is because that he could do well in these two roles, as he is the person that highly knowledgeable about the business of the company, and he could provide leadership to the board. In my point of view, I think that Tan Sri Lim Kok Tai should ensure that he have a clear separation between the policy making process and day-to-day management, and the board should take measure to evaluate the appropriateness of the due role. So next slide. Just 2 months ago, Genting Berhad had just made an announcement that the chairman of the company had changed to Tan Sri Awi Jatan, which is the man on the left-hand side, as he is the independent, not executive director, and Tan Sri Lim Kok Tai had become the deputy chairman and CEO of the company. In the time, the company had fulfilled the practice 1.3, which the position of the chairman and CEO are held by different individuals. So next, I will pass to Boy to talk about board composition. Thank you.
I'm Bowie. Now I'm going to talk about the board composition of Genting Berhad. So Genting has the best practice of the 4.1 of the MCCG 2017, which is having at least half or a majority of independent directors for large company. In the board of directors of Genting, only 3 out of 8 are non-independent directors. The reason of the BOD include a majority of independent directors is that they would bring objective and also independent judgment to the board deliberations, the review, as well as the decision making. Once the company follows the 4.1, it will enable the company for more effective oversight of management. For example, Datuk Dr. R. Thilanathan, who have served for more than 9 years, is one of the independent director and well-known figure in his field of expertise and conversant with the business. Therefore, he will bring valuable insights as well as contribution to the board. So now I will pass to Elaine. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Eileen. Now I will talk about the last outline of Principle A, which is remuneration. According to MCCG 2017, the first intended outcome is the remuneration package provided to the directors and senior management are as acknowledgement of what they had contributed to the company. Remuneration policy and decisions are made through a transparent and independently process. In order to achieve this, the board of Genting Berhad has to follow the policy and procedures to determine the remuneration. The policy and procedures are reviewed periodically and made available on the website according to Practice 6.1. Next, the board must have a Remuneration Committee to implement and review previous slide. Review the policy and procedures. Not only that, the committee also has to recommend matters regarding the remuneration if there is a necessary in the meeting according to practice 6.2. Consequently, Genting Berhad did follow this requirement and their remuneration committee has been established since 2002. Next slide. The second intended outcome structure that the stakeholder are able to access to the info of the remuneration of directors and senior management. This is because they have to judge whether the remuneration package are really based on their performance and not biased. Practice 7.1 said that the disclosure of remuneration of directors must be on name basis with the breakdown of remuneration, for example, fees, salary and bonus, and etc. As you can see at the right of this slide, Genting disclose it in their corporate governance report. Last but not least, next slide. Next slide, please. Practice 7.2 is similar to practice 7.1. 7.2 is disclosure of remuneration of the top 5 senior management, and the component of remuneration including salary, bonus, and other benefit, and is limited to 50,000. But Genting Berhad did not agree with this statement, and the top 5 senior management of their company are based on their performance and the benchmark among other similar industry. Thank you. That's all from me. Now I will pass to Nawaz.
I am Nawaz here. I'd like to talk about the principle B that the company has been used is the audit committee. First of all, we need to know that what is the audit committee? Audit committee is one of the major operating committees of the board of the director that is in charge of overseeing financial reporting and disclose. All publicly traded companies must maintain a qualified audit committee in order to be listed in the stock exchange. Mr. Genting Berhad is a public listed company. From the annual report of Genting Berhad, we clearly recognize that Dato Dr. Tilanatam is the chairman of the audit committee, who is also an independent non-executive director of the company. From the MCCG 2017, the company applied practice 8.2, which is using the cooling off period for at least 2 years before former key audit partner could be appointed as a member of the audit committee. This is because to safeguard the independence of the audit of the financial statement, as we have learned in the principle of auditing. Thirdly, that the audit committee of the company consists of 4 members who are all independent non-executive directors, which is already they achieve the requirements of the MCCG 2017. Members of the audit committees are financially literate, is they understandable as they continuously keep themselves abreast with the latest development in the new accounting and auditing standard, and the impact may be on the group through briefing by management and external auditors. Lastly and not least, they use practice 8.5 for the directors are also required by the Companies Act 2016 to prepare financial statement for each financial year, which has been made out in accordance with the Malaysian Financial Reporting Standard, International Financial Reporting Standard, and the provision of the Companies Act 2016, which give a true and fair view of the financial position of the group and of the company at the end of the financial year, and also for the financial performance of the group and of the company for the financial year. That's all my part. I would like to pass to other presenter, Eugene, for the risk management. Thank you.
Hi everyone, it's me again, and I'm going to continue with the risk management and internal control framework. The board is provided with reasonable assurance that adverse impact arising from a foreseeable future event or situation on the company's objectives is mitigated and managed. To review the adequacy and integrity of Genting Berhad, the board is responsible for the group's risk management process and the internal control system. The board affirms its overall responsibility for the preparing of an effective risk management and internal control system in place. This is fulfilled under MCCG 2017 Practice 9.1. The risk management and internal control framework of the company are designed to manage rather than eliminating the risk and to provide reasonable but not absolute assurance against any material misstatement or loss. This is provided under MCCG 2017 Practice 9.2, which they have done. Besides that, the board has approved the division of the Audit and Risk Management Committee into two independent committees, which are Audit Committee by itself and Risk Management Committee by itself, with the same composition of members by end of 2019. This is practiced under Practice 9.3 MCCG 2017. The Risk Management Committee now acts as a board committee to assist the board in carrying out the duty to oversee the risk management process and policies of Genting Berhad, to assist the board in maintaining a sound system of internal control or to safeguard shareholders' investment of the group's asset. The group has in place an adequately resourced internal audit department. In my opinion, Genting has formed a very strong internal control system and very effective risk management in all material aspects, as Genting ascertained the risk appetite for its business by setting up appropriate risk management and internal control policies. Genting also has a dedicated focus on risk management through a risk management committee. For example, the board establishes a majority of independent directors to oversee the company's risk management framework and policies on and its implementation. Example of risk faced by Genting is the financial risk. For example, they face foreign currency exchange, interest rate, credit, price, and liquidity risks. The strategies adopted to manage these risks are to reduce the potential adverse impact. That's all for my part. I will pass the time to Durga to continue with the next half of risk management. Thank you.
Thank you, Eugene. Hi, I'm Durga. So, according to the Genting Berhad annual report, we have identified that Mr. Theo has performed the internal audit functions. He is basically is a member of MICPA and a chartered accountant of the MIA. He works and he needs to report to two parties, which are the audit committee and the senior management of the company. Following the corporate governance report included the job scope of the internal auditors, performance evaluation, and the budgeting of the internal audit functions. For example, in the year of 2019, the average number of internal auditor was 30 compromising degree holders and the professional from related discipline with an average of 9.1 years of working experience per personnel. In addition, the internal audit team is practicing independence. They do not involve in the operational activities of the company. Also, they do not hold any sort of responsibilities and authority over the operation that internal audit covers in the scope of work. Just further information, Genting applies three principles. Principle A, B, and C. Principle A, Genting applies the board of leadership and effectiveness. In Principle B, effective audit and risk management. And Principle C, communication with stakeholders and conduct of general meeting. Therefore, it complies with the principle and the best practice of good governance as provided under the MCCG of 2019. So this is our workload of our metrics. And that's all from us. Thank you.